Hey, Shalom, Michelle. I want to start off source by giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. This is a quick one. This is British foreign worker biggest foreign worker exodus since World War II, as to Britain's woes. Well, foreign workers are leaving Britain at the fastest pace since World War II, presenting a challenge to an economy already rolled by Brexit. And the thing, London alone has lost 700,000 people over the last year. Recent research suggests the implications are profound for the treasury landlords and the chances for recovery from the worst slump in 3 centuries. Okay, so basically, and that's a good point, about the landlord situation, because, I know certain people that have lowballed their rent by £300 a month, and another one by £500 a month. So, although we're about to we're coming up to the end of this man's system. If you living in London, I'm sure in the States as well, and you're trying to get find somewhere else, your contract may be up for your current spot or whatever. Hey, feel free to lowball the rent, man. Just be like, look, man, hey, I like this spot, but I'm only willing to pay and an X number, a few hundred below the asking price. Don't know what the number will be the next year, but just something you can do. But why is that? Because you're having people that would come as students not coming as students. You're having people that were here. For instance, there was an Eastern European lady from the coffee shop that I frequent, right? And then she was like, look, man, I ain't trying to be locked up in England. I want to go home, be locked up back in my home country, right? So hey, this is what the scripture says is going to be happening. Now, of course, it's like he said, that has a profound effect for the economy, right? But when it says treasury there, why? Because all these different people, they're not paying tax. Those 700,000 people, they're not paying tax, right? The risk is that people don't come back, so we have a skill and labor shortages, and we lose some output growth and tax revenue permanently. Jonathan Ports, a King's College London economics professor, who estimates well over 1 million foreign-born workers may have left, right? And once again, let's not forget that this is just the workers. Let's not forget students, because students bring in a lot of money for a lot of these universities, right? The UK student is like $9,000 a year for tuition fees, whereas foreign students are anywhere from 11,000 to whatever. Okay, I saw certain master's degrees at a university, right? For international students, they were charging 30,000 a year. Okay, so which those numbers may not be big in, to Americans and all of that, but to Britain, that's a big number. Okay, this is a theoretical scenario where migration dries up instead of rising by around 100,000 a year. It could cost the UK about 1% of output after 5 years. That is crazy. That but would you call? This is one of them articles you got to pay for, so I'll just pause it up, and you can read through through your own leisure, right? Because I'm not going to read through. You see, London rents in London fell 8.3%. UK work visas plunged. You see that there? Bloody hell, it's a long ass article. Like I said, I'm just doing this so that brothers who can pause and read up. This is what the scripture says. Isaiah 13:14 says, "And it shall be as a chased roe, and the sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land." Right? And you'll see in that, in the UK, you'll see that also in America, where basically people are like, man, F this, I'm going back home, man. Right? We can't make money here anymore. Or they might be looking and hearing their cousins and their aunties living. Yeah, they may be locked down, but they will living good in their own country, right? Because different, England's lockdown has been quite effed in comparison to like the States. You look at Texas. Texas has been more or less opened up, right? Whereas here in the UK, where people are getting excited because from next Monday we're gonna be able to go to the pubs again, and not even inside the pubs. You can only sit outside the pub. You can't sit in the pub, right? Non-essential shops reopening, and don't forget, London's been in lockdown since December, right? End of December. So basically, all of 2021, England's been in lockdown, right? So imagine you get certain people that are looking abroad and say maybe Spain it's a little bit more open, or Italy it's a little bit more open, and they're trying to go back home, right? But these different things are going to keep going and keep going and getting worse and worse, and until this place goes down. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, right? It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, right? So this is what we read in this article here, right? The fact that you're going to have less people working than there were before, right? Less people to do certain jobs means that those jobs can't run. That means you're now having to charter people from other parts of the world to come and do this, do work here in the UK, which is what happened last year, right? They had to charter a plane from Romania, right, to hire fruit pickers, right, because the Brits weren't going to do it. It's hard labor, laborious work, right? It says, and the ground is ceased because there are few, right? And those that look out the windows be darkened, right? So these economic forecasters looking outside, be like, yo, what can we expect? Right now, those in the know, they know this place is CTD as a possible bar. Said years ago, circling the drain. It's a medical term, right? Hey, you could say DMX is circling the drain at the moment, right? Because yeah, he's even breathing for himself. He's on life support, and that's the same with this kingdom. This kingdom's on life support, okay? And at any moment, the plug is going to be pulled, which is why E is coming down as hard as he is, right? Because as the scripture saith, he knoweth he hath but a short time, right? This Revelation 12 and 12 says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Right, so he knows he's got a short time. How does he know? He's seen the prophets, right? From all over. Well, when it was just in America, it's just a couple men in New York. Oh, it's nothing, and went to Texas. Couple people, and then it started going all throughout the states, and it's like, wait, hang about, what's going on there? Then it started going global, and then now he's was like, yo, shit, what's going on there? Because as the scripture saith, right in Jeremiah 28 and 8, right, the prophet that have been before thee of old, right, prophesied both against many kingdoms, right, and then basically prophesied against great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence, right, and that's what we're doing. Starting off with the apostles on down, we're saying, like, look, man, this kingdom's about to go down, right? And he's starting to feel hot, right? So he's just coming down now, right? So continuing on, this Ecclesiastes 12 and 3 says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low, right? So you're seeing that you have certain shops that are closed for good, right? The Top Shop opposite where we used to teach, right out there in Oxford Circus, closed, right? Major store, flagship store, right? Closed, right? But that's more and more of these things are going to be happening, right? Clothes shopping to go where, right? And it's very soon this man's going to lock everything down. Okay, so yeah, this was just a quick one. Biggest foreign worker exodus since World War Two, right? As to Britain's woes, right? So yeah, as always, Lord's what I was edifying. Till next time, we say shalom.